What is up, you guys? Your boy Elafa is back with another video. Now the OKC Thunder season is coming to an end, so I feel like it is best to bring back the scouting videos. I haven't done one of these videos in a very long time, and assuming how bright the OKC Thunder's future is, and I'm an OKC fan, and everybody in this video, majority of y'all are probably OKC fans, so I feel like it is only right to consider where some of these prospects may end up. Not going to make this intro too long, so let us get into the player that we will be scouting today. The player that we will be scouting goes by the name of Jalen Green, who is a top 5 projected player and has been very great in the G League, making his case to be drafted very high. Before we scout today's player, why don't you guys do me a quick favor and like this video and subscribe to the channel. I make NBA discussion videos talking about controversial NBA topics or even relatable topics revolving NBA basketball, and will now be scouting players that are going to be drafted within this upcoming draft class. But other than that, let us begin today's video. So what we have right here is a full-on Jalen Green 2020-21 scouting report. So it says right here, Jalen Green scouting report, strengths, weaknesses, and player comparison. So obviously this entire website that we are going to be looking at is basically going to give us a full representation as to what Jalen Green can bring to an NBA franchise if he gets drafted or when he gets drafted, because there's no doubt that he's going to get drafted top 5, and possibly the OKC Thunder can draft him or somebody else that fits their team in the greatest way possible. And you already know Jalen Green is going to be projected top 5, and me personally, I don't really watch college basketball, high school, or G League basketball, so what I'm going to be learning in this website is going to be completely new to me, as I really don't pay attention to these fields of basketball other than NBA basketball. So without further ado, let us get right into this scouting report. G League Ignite, I'm guessing that's the G League team. Standout star Jalen Green is a projected top 5 pick in the 2021 NBA draft. But what would he bring to an NBA franchise? So the only thing that I know about Jalen Green is I heard that he's somewhat athletic. That's the only thing I know about him. I don't know what else he could do on the floor regarding any one of his specific intangibles that he already has, other than dunk the ball, run at a high phase, just straight athletic game for him. So that's really the only thing I know about Jalen Green, but we're gonna find out other things that we could find out about Jalen Green and the flip side of things in this website. So let us continue on. So starting off with the strengths, Green is a fluid scorer who can get a bucket in a variety of ways. His jump out of the gym athleticism pairs nicely with his lightning quick first step for highlight reel finishes when he attacks the basket off the dribble. So it is what I exactly predicted. Jalen Green is a player who's consisted of great athleticism, and he can use his lightning quick speed first step to get from point A to point B on the floor in very efficient paces. So if OKC was to draft this guy, they will probably be looking at a Russell Westbrook 2.0 or a De'Aaron Fox 2.0, as both of those players are on each of their teams, providing their teams with great athleticism and great speed to push the pace on the floor to benefit their offense in that given standpoint. So continuing on with this statement, that same leaping ability also makes him a lethal cutter and transition scorer, taking very little time to load up and bounce. So reading this entire statement as of right now, we already know, or I don't know, you guys already know how great of a player Jalen Green is potentially. But my main concern personally, does Jalen Green's game only consist of athleticism? Because if you guys don't already know, there has been a bunch of past NBA players that are retired as of right now, and even there are some NBA players in today's NBA that only provides their basketball team with athleticism, and that's the only thing that they could provide. They have no jump shot, they have no playmaking ability, and they don't have any defensive ability. So that's my main concern. Is Jalen Green going to be another one of those players that is heavily limited to just simply getting to the rim and nothing else regarding stretching the floor or providing their team with great playmaking and great ability to make their teammates better and great defensive stops? That statement alone could be very concerning for the OKC Thunder if they decide to draft Jalen Green, regarding if he is a heavy limited player to only being able to dunk the basketball. But other than that, if we scroll down a little bit, we get a bunch of highlights of Jalen Green. I'm guessing it's going to represent his game, obviously, in the G League. So if you glance at this, it's probably going to, just going to highlight Jalen Green. As you see right there, he makes a transition cut and gets the easy dunk using his athletic ability. like I've already said. Is this the only thing that he could do? Is the only thing that he could do is dunk? Can he do anything else like shoot the ball or playmake? Let me see some playmaking ability. That was a nice dunk though. Great cut, great dunk, but still, gotta have a jump shot and defense to be very effective in today's NBA, my man. But not taking anything away from Jalen Green. He's a very great player, it seems as though, and you guys probably already know who Jalen Green is as a player more than I do. So you guys probably know if he's able to shoot or play defense at high abilities and high effective rates. So let us move on within this scouting report. So would you look at that? Just how I was just now slandering his basketball game, only being able to be an athletic player. It says right here he's a confident dribbler with a knack for creating space, especially when it comes to a step back jumper. He is a shot creator in every sense of the term. So that completely destroys my concerns that I have with Jalen Green, my apologies. So he's a step back shooter. He could create his own shot along with his athleticism. Maybe he could be one of those players that can have a defender. He could make things very hard and difficult for his defender, as the defender may not know what he's gonna do revolving his basketball game, regarding if he's gonna shoot the three or regarding if he's gonna blow right past him as the defender tries to play up on his 3-point shot to get an easy dunk. And this is another video regarding his highlights. It was playing in the background for some reason. I'm gonna rewind this from the start and let us get into this highlights real fast. So that description said he could shoot, so I'm assuming this is going to show his shooting ability, in which it does. He did a snatch back between the legs, step back three to get that 3-point shot. Another one, snatch back, 3-point shot, cash. Okay, so that destroys my narrative of him only being an athletic player. So he can play make, he can dribble, he can shoot the ball, and he's gonna create his own shot created at his finest. So maybe he is a Russell Westbrook with a slightly better jump shot. Maybe he can be. The OKC Thunder already had Russell Westbrook for 11 years now. Maybe we could be getting another Russell Westbrook with a slightly better jump shot. Let us move on. Things are getting even better. Jalen Green can score from all three levels, operating as a pick and roll ball handler, and has shown improvement as an off-ball scorer, using his quickness to slither through defenses to generate looks. While his playmaking ability could still use some polishing, he flashed growth as a passer this season. He's a great athletic player. He can create his own shot, and it says right here he can use his playmaking ability to a certain extent. Of course, as it says right here, it could still use some polishing, but if OKC decides to draft him, they can take that into consideration to develop his playmaking ability even further, to basically contribute to the game of basketball at a high beneficial way when it comes to NBA basketball in the future. And now looking at this other statement, with an arsenal of offensive weapons, Green is a tough matchup for any defender. So OKC has Gilgeous-Alexander, Lou Dort, Darius Baisley, Moses Brown, Alexei Pokushevsky. Correct me if I said that name wrong, but you get the point. They have great young talented players that is destined to be great for the future. And now if you implement Jalen Green to the lineup, assuming that he's a 6'6" player, 178 pounds, he's probably gonna have his main position being a shooting guard. Correct me if I'm wrong, Lou Dort is currently playing shooting guard, so maybe if Jalen Green gets implemented into the lineup, he would possibly be playing the shooting guard, moving Lou Dort to the small forward. Or you can even put Jalen Green as a small forward, being a 6'6" small forward player, and keep Lou Dort as the shooting guard. Either way, both of those scenarios can work out great, and it seems like Jalen Green can fit well for the OKC Thunder's future, or possibly any other NBA teams, if any other NBA team decides to draft Jalen Green other than the OKC Thunder. So as things were looking up for Jalen Green, we gotta get into what Jalen Green is not so good at regarding his weaknesses. Jalen Green, I'm sorry man, but we gotta look at what you're not so articulate at when it comes to NBA basketball in general, and that standpoint alone is very essential when it comes to glancing at newly acquired NBA talent for the game of basketball. So starting things off, while Green's jump shot mechanics are smooth, he can be a streaky shooter. Now this standpoint alone, I'm not too worried about that, because if his jump shot is not falling, he can contribute to the game of basketball in many different ways, such as being an athletic player, getting some easy cuts and getting easy buckets, providing with the team of extra scoring, using his athleticism, branching away from his streaky shooting that specific night, and he can playmake at the limited playmaking ability he consists of currently, and it will be even more beneficial once he develops develops his playmaking ability along with his streaky shooting even further. Next, his efficiency in the G League bubble was solid as a whole, but he did have 2 games where he went 0 for 7 from 3-point range, 1 game where he went 0 for 6 and also had a 1 for 6 and 2 for 7 sprinkled in. Improving as a catch and shoot shooter would be a major step toward becoming more consistent in that aspect. So he's an overall efficient player as it says in this first initial statement, but he did have some off nights, 0 for 7, 0 for 6, 1 for 6 and 2 for 7, which I'm not completely worried because shooters and even any other players revolving outside of jump shooting will have off nights. Stephen Curry has had many nights where he was just simply unstoppable from the 3-point line, and then he had other nights where he just simply couldn't buy a bucket, putting up very inefficient numbers and barely making any threes at all. So that's gonna happen. Not everybody's gonna have a great shooting night, so I'm really not worried about that. And I like that statement where it says improving as a catch and shoot shooter, which he can, since he's already showing flashes that he can create his own shots, so he could probably be versatile within that statement revolving around jump shooting in general. Although he is developing as a passer, there's still plenty of progress to be made there. So judging from this initial statement right here, I assume that this entire paragraph talks about what he can develop regarding his passing ability. We already discussed this standpoint, so we're not going to discuss this standpoint even further. We're just going to skip to this line where it says defensively is where Green needs to improve the most. Regarding from everything that we discussed from this scouting report in general in this entire video, we really did not consider his defense. We did mention if he's a good defender right there, which this initial statement says he's really not that good defensively and he needs to improve. His thin frame, 178 pounds, will limit him when he first gets to the next level, and his attentiveness and activity leaves some to be desired. Building up some size and strength as he grows into this his body will be a start on that end of the floor, but his defensive intensity could use an uptick. So judging from every single weakness that we have analyzed revolving around Jalen Green, it seems as though his defense is the worst out of the bunch. Considering that he is a very thin player, maybe bulking up in the weight room can help, but he will also have to develop his defensive intangibles and intensity, which of course comes with developing a player in general, which shouldn't be worried about at all. But other than that, regarding this entire website, we analyzed his weaknesses and his strengths. Everything down here really doesn't matter. It talks about his projected NBA draft position, which is top 5, projected NBA role, primary scorer, and shades of young Ray Allen, which was a beast in the past, Zach LaVine, Kelly Oubre Jr., and Ben McLemore. I was thinking Russell Westbrook and De'Aaron Fox, but maybe he could fit with these players as well. But other than that, that will conclude today's video. OKC fans, what do you think? Do you guys think Jalen Green will be the perfect fit, or will drafting another player be the better decision? And any other general NBA fan, how do you feel about Jalen Green playing within the NBA? Do you think he will be a great player? Let me know in the comment section down below. Make sure you guys like this video and subscribe to the channel. I will greatly appreciate it. I'm out. Peace.